On this episode of Tea with Tom, we have Sir Froge joining us. You may have seen his work before in videos from KSI, Mini Minter, and even PewDiePie. With over 20 million views on his Supercut videos, this B-Tech little board blew up making amazingly awkward edits of podcast and even YouTuber boxing press conferences. Here's a clip from his last video so you can see what he does.
I'm here with Natalie. She is Logan's biggest fan. You even made a sign for him. Why are you excited to be here today?
I am so excited because I know he's going to win. He's going to whip KSI. He's going to whip KSI.
Well, here we go. Things just got real.
Hello, Los Angeles. How we doing? Okay. All right, listen. Listen. Zoom into my face right now. Mr. and Mrs. KSI, thank you. I fucking love you for giving me the opportunity to beat the shit out of your assholes. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey.
Oh, what? Vidal, what the fuck do you do? Get a better YouTube channel.
Let's talk about Jay real quick.
You do want to talk about my brother, the guy you're not fighting?
No,
Go for it.
I mean,
hey, what about you talk about the dude you're fighting?
A video.
Vidal, what the fuck do you do? Shut the fuck up.
Easy. Hey, yo, you're fucking trash.
Hey, this was weak.
Let me talk to Logan. Hey, Logan, how you doing? First of all, you look like you're running with a dildo up your ass. Let's start.
KSI, bitch.
His content is brilliant, he's hilarious, he's a great guy, so grab a drink, relax, and we can all get to know Sir Froge. I found you through your edits of the podcast, but it's actually good.
Yeah.
The first one
most people will love,
yeah. Yeah, the first one I saw was one you did for the XL podcast. And kind of leads me on to my first question is, like, where did that idea come from? What were you watching that gave you that light bulb that was like, I could make something weird out of this?
I was just browsing YouTube one day and I found this video called, I think it was the H3 podcast with iDubbbz, but it's awkward, something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot to edit it, but I saw that and I thought it was a very funny video, but I also noticed some like little mistakes in editing, and I thought like I can do better than that. So I made my own version.
So like you'd never done anything like this beforehand? You just saw that and thought I could do it better than that, and had a go?
I did YouTube when I was like 11 and 12 and 13, so I had some knowledge of like editing and stuff and how YouTube worked, and I've been wanting to get back into YouTube for a long time, but I needed like a new type of content to do, you know?
Yeah.
When I was like 11, I just made like Minecraft videos in Dutch, which don't really get that far with that.
Is there not a huge audience for Dutch Minecraft videos?
There was back in 2012, and then Minecraft died for like 5 years, and then I needed something else.
Oh, maybe you should jump back into that now, mate. It might do you well.
I should, honestly. I did like one Minecraft video like last week, and it's been very good.
Yeah, keep on doing it, man. Where did the name Sir Froge come from, and how long have you had it for?
So when I made this video of iDubbbz on the H3 podcast, I needed a place to upload it, and I thought of try to think of like a funny meme sort of name. I wanted like an animal to kind of represent the character.
Yeah.
But a duck was already taken by Dolan Dark.
Yeah.
And kind of goats were also already kind of too popular.
Yeah.
So I thought of like a frog. They could look kind of dumb.
Yeah. What's your outro from?
So
is it from like The Wind in the Willows or something?
It's from a ballet called Jeremy Fisher.
How did you come across that? Did you Google Dancing Frog, or are you a big ballet fan?
Yeah, I literally Googled Dancing Frog and I came across that. So that's my outro now.
Oh well, that's fantastic. Yeah, just so people are aware, this is Tea with Tom. Do you have a cup of tea?
I have something that looks like it.
Well, that's all that matters. That's all we need. So yeah, the content that you make, it tends to be around the same thing. It's like what would you call it? Is it like hyper edited?
I usually call it like just a supercut or an edit.
Yeah, supercut. Yeah. So it's it's obviously taking some long form content, taking bits out of context, and just making it as awkward and weird as possible with what you have. Which I think is just fantastic in itself, to be honest. But do you ever feel sort of like you're trapped making that sort of content? Would you want to make anything else?
Definitely, yeah. I've been experimenting a bit more recently with different types of content, but not everybody watches that. Most people subscribe for the edits and the supercut, and also most of my subscribers come from shoutouts from KSI and Mini Minter.
Yeah, so, same.
If I do make like a different type of video, I have to do it really well, because otherwise people just won't watch.
Yeah, I watched your vlog you did for 200k. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Just like, obviously, you were putting on like a sort of heavier accent, and just like, I think the way you do your comedy, where it's sort of like awkwardly funny, or it's funny because it isn't, if that makes sense. So like, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, exactly.
That vlog, but like, I got a lot of, obviously, my whole time I've been on YouTube, every big boost of growth has been from like a shout out or a feature in somebody else's video. My first feature was in a Will and E video. It was in a Twatty. I made his comment song.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he put that in, and I went from like, I think I was on like 101 subs. I went up to like 1,200 or something, which was obviously it's insane. Like that sort of growth is mental, and I really, I was very happy about it. I've got all of these new people coming over, and everybody was like really nice and supportive, and they enjoyed the content that I was making. And then I sort of found with the comment songs, like that's what I was aiming for. The aim of the comment song was for the person that was making it about to see it, and then share it, because like basically my sort of thing, my thinking was like, not in a mean way, it sounds, it could be misconstrued, but like everybody's got an ego, right? Everybody does, and everybody likes their ego to be sort of stroked and for them to feel important or whatever. So like everybody, like I learned with girls and stuff, everybody likes a song about them. And if I can take the hate comments, which are normally, as much as some of them are funny, some cut deep. Like if they hit an insecurity you've already got, or like say like if you've messed up an edit and you were sort of aware of it, thinking I should have done better, and then they point it out, it feels grim. So if I could take that and make it funny and show it to them, and then they would share it, and that was the sort of plan. But who gave you your first bit of recognition? How did you grow? How did that feel?
So I got like super lucky, because like the 4th or 5th video I made got like 200,000 views within a week.
Crazy.
So that I blew up pretty much from the beginning, and that's where a lot of subscribers came from. I jumped to like 20k in a few months, and then a few months later I had like 40k, and that was when the KSI Logan Paul boxing stuff happened last year. And that's what really gave me the boost, Like then I was featured in KSI's videos and PewDiePie's videos, and PewDiePie followed me on Twitter and everything.
When,
like everything started puffing off.
Yeah, I remember that, man. That was like seeing you in the sort of the PewDiePie video and stuff. I was like, because it is like obviously I only know of 2 of you doing it, you and Little Board. I found you first. I found you in my recommended, actually. It was that I don't like the sort of face warp thing. You made. I think the first video I saw actually was the one with where True Geordie was speaking to, what's his name? The strongman. Eddie Hearn, is that his name?
Eddie Hall.
Yeah, that guy.
Is it Eddie Hall? I don't know.
We both know who we're talking about. That big meathead, anyway. And you'd sort of photoshopped his face, and I thought it kind of looks a bit like the True Geordie after a terrible accident. So like that's what sort of made me click, and it's nice. Like it's very original. It wasn't really clickbaity, which probably is what made me click. It was just nice and simple, short video, easy to consume and stuff. And when you're making them, do you prioritize whether it will do well and it will have a good title, or whether it's just you've got an idea because you saw someone say something weird and you're like, yeah, all right, I'll get on that?
A big part of it beforehand when choosing what I want to edit is, of course, what's going to do well. So I use podcasts that hopefully people will watch. Hopefully the people in the podcast themselves will watch it. So I do like impulsive podcasts and actual podcasts and everything, because I know those people will watch it and probably share it. And of course Sideman videos, because that's where most of my viewers come from.
Yeah.
But then during the video editing itself, I don't really think about how popular the video is going to be. I just kind of make it the funniest I can.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Do you like? Do the ideas come when you're watching the video anyway, or do you watch the video looking for ideas, or is it like a combination of the two?
So most podcasts, I won't watch them until I'm editing them. Like I'll drag them into my editing software and watch through the whole thing. And as I'm watching, I'll look for clips that I can use. I'll just cut those out and put them on like a separate editing track. And then by the end of it, I'll have like 7-8 minutes worth of usable clips. But usually as I'm watching the podcast for the first time, I already get some ideas from like, I just cut out this clip and it kind of works with what I cut out before. So maybe I can, make a little scene with that.
So,
that's how I get most of my ideas, like during the editing.
What do you use to edit? What software do you use?
I use Final Cut Pro X.
Just Final Cut,
do you? Like Sony Vegas, but for Apple, yeah.
Yeah. I use that as well. I don't know how you do what you do on Final Cut. How long does it take to make one of those videos? Like, what's the average length? It's like 2 minutes or so, right? It's like 2-3 minutes.
A 2-3 minute video, I'd say, usually is like 6-7 hours. But obviously my last video was I kind of rushed to get it out as quick as possible.
And mate, the turnaround time on that was unreal. That was one of the questions on Twitter from Jack.
Because I remember when last year when my video about it kind of blew up, it was partly because I got it out so quickly after it came out. Like I uploaded my video then like 2 hours after the live stream ended. So
Crazy.
I think that's when I got into people's recommended, I kind of jumped into the algorithm and got recommended to a lot of people. So I tried to do the same here and got it around after like 3.5 hours.
Mad. How's it doing? How's the video doing?
It's doing well.
Yeah.
This is the best video I've had in months.
Sick. Yeah, it's a good
500,000 views.
500,000.
Yeah.
Smashed it, mate. Smashed it. That's like it's a good feeling when a video does. Like it actually just does well, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's quite addictive. Have you ever burnt yourself out? Have you ever sort of
no.
got like? Have you ever like sort of got to a point where you think like, I can't be asked. Why am I doing this?
Oh, that definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. But whenever I feel like that, I just take a break. I don't want to force myself to do it. Kind of takes the fun out of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I try to still treat it as a hobby, rather than an actual job. So.
Yeah, it's like I feel it's sort of a better mentality. Like at a certain times, right, I'll get bitten by the inspiration bug, and I can sit there for like literally 12 hours straight. I'll only stop to like eat and go to the toilet. I'll sit there for like 12 hours straight, and I can write a song, I record it, edit it, mix it, and get the whole video made, and like that was great, and I feel really good about it. And then there's other times when like it is literally like work. Well, I don't want to be doing it. I want to go play a game and watch TV. And for quite a long time, like obviously after the initial sort of explosion that my channel got, I was sort of like chasing the relevancy. Like I need to upload all the time to keep in the algorithm and do that. And as soon as I stopped, because I was uploading 2-3 times a week, everything was doing well. I started to slow down. The views started to drop and everything. It's just like. It's hard to understand. That's sort of like it's not like a problem I've got, because obviously, like, if YouTube was that stressful, I could just not do it. Like, so it's not like I'm saying that. Like, there's times it's stressful, but obviously so is everything. Have you ever made a video that you thought would do better than it did?
Definitely yes. I mean, I hope they do well, but they don't always, you know.
Yeah, like. Could you pick?
I can't think of anything specifically, but
yeah, like how would you explain that sort of feeling where like say if you've made something and you know it's good, you know it's one of the best things that you've made, but maybe it doesn't have like a say I don't know if you did like a smaller podcast but you made it amazing and brilliant. It were obviously the people were less clickbaity and it sort of flops. Like how does that does that get to you at all, or you're just like whatever, or you're like fuck's sake, why isn't that done better?
I guess in the beginning it kind of got to me, but then I've just got to a point where I don't really care. Like usually beforehand, if a video doesn't do well, I'll know beforehand because I know the people in the video aren't that popular or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'll be prepared for it, and I don't. Yeah, it doesn't bother me too much.
But yeah, it's it. What's your? I'm trying to think how to word it. What's your favorite thing that has come out of YouTube? Like, it can be people that you've met. It can be money. It can be clout and fame and all that good shit. That is just that no one actually cares about. What's your favorite thing? It could be an experience that has come from starting YouTube. Like best, like or like a highlight for you.
I'd have to say partly the money. I don't make a lot from YouTube, but I make enough to kind of like I'd make the same or a little less working a day job, you know.
All right, yeah.
So now I'm taking like a gap year. I just finished high school. I'm taking a gap year before I go to uni, and because of YouTube, I don't have to find a job and work 7 hours a day. You know, I can just sit at home and make videos there, and still make a living.
Yes, that's.
I think that's the best part.
Yeah, it's the sort of freedom of it.
Yeah, exactly.
How like with quite a lot of YouTube, people talk about it quite a lot. A big thing is watch time.
Yeah.
With your videos being quite short, how much do you think your watch time is sort of making a difference? Because like I've noticed with my channel, say if I just make a song or like a rap about something silly and it's like 2 minutes, even if people watch say like 60% of the video, that's like what 1 minute of watch time, like 1.5 or something, 1.10.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard for you to make like say a 10-minute video where you could bang like that would take you about a week, I'd guess, to make it good, to make a full 10-minute video of that supercut stuff. So do you think it makes much of a difference compared to the longer videos you've uploaded, or do you just think nobody actually knows what they're on about and it's just all sort of guesswork like around YouTube?
I guess a big part of it is guesswork.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really notice a difference in how successful my videos are based on how long they are or what the watch time is.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't really make long videos, and some of them still, you know, get into the algorithm and get a couple million views or whatever. So I don't know. I don't really know how big the impact of watch time actually is. I just know when you get to 10 minutes, you can put an extra ad in, which I don't get the profit from that.
Yeah, like my understanding was always that people were stretching it to 10 minutes to get the extra advert in there.
Yeah.
But then as I started like talking to people and meeting more people, I started understanding like they were making it longer for the watch time because it helps the sort of beast that is the algorithm sort of help you or whatever. But then like the sort of danger of that is there's quite a lot of people that I enjoy watching. I don't really want to name drop anybody, but like their content is definitely saturated to help it get to 10 minutes. Like it didn't need to be that long.
Right.
And there's like a lot of filler in it, which like that takes away what YouTube is to me. That makes it feel like that's why I don't watch TV. Right, I don't watch TV at all. Because say if you're watching, you know, like on the Discovery Channel, there's like the gold mining shows and Hunt for Bigfoot and stuff like that. It's like it's like 50 like the show's runtime will be an hour. It's like 15 minutes of original content, and then there's about half an hour of before the break, and then all the other time is breaks. Like so,
right.
like you get a full hour for just 15 minutes of new information rehashed like over and over. That's why I don't watch TV, and I find like there's a few YouTubers that sort of getting that way, or they could just rice gum it, where like you make a 2-minute video and put like an 8-minute black screen on the end of it.
I thought about doing that.
Yeah.
As a joke, you know.
Yeah, like I don't know
I
who.
feel like that would work though.
No, because obviously your watch time, like your audience retention, would be trash.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, moving away from YouTube, we can come back round to it in a minute. Talk about a bit of real life and enjoyment. Learn a bit more about you. Obviously, you spend a lot of time editing podcasts and stuff. What's your favorite go-to podcast?
Oh, at the moment, I guess it's either the Impulsive podcast or the Misfits. I really got into the Misfits like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And now I've been watching every podcast that they make. I really enjoy watching them, and I definitely want to make more videos about them in the future.
Yeah.
And Impulsive, I used to do a lot more of Impulsive, but then they kind of had bad guests on for a while. They're getting better guests now though, so I might have to make another one of those.
Like that was very surprising. I thought that Impulsive would be just an hour long of autism, to be honest. Like something that I couldn't tolerate watching. I don't like their videos. I don't like their personalities really, or the characters that I saw. But I was actually really surprised at how good that podcast is.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Because obviously, it's not sort of tailored towards their younger audience, which I wasn't expecting. I literally watched it just to be like, I don't know, just to give it shit, I guess. I don't know. I just clicked because of the curiosity. It ended up watching it, but for a while it was sort of like a dirty little secret, like sort of like not letting my missus know that I'm watching like I'm under the covers watching a
guilty pleasure,
a fucking Logan Paul video, hiding away like. Yeah, I've never actually seen.
I agree. No, yeah, it's done well with the podcast. You know, I definitely wasn't a Logan Paul fan, and I wouldn't say I'm a fan now, but like.
But yeah, I enjoy that content. Yeah, I'm in pretty much the same boat. I'm not a Logan Paul fan. I don't think he's the demon everyone paints him out to be.
Exactly.
Like, he's what? Is he 25? Is he? Like?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's still pretty young. He's loaded. Obviously, he's done some proper dumb shit. No one's ever gonna try and justify. But like, mate, all of us have done dumb shit, but we just didn't film it. Like, obviously, it wasn't to the extent of like, I've never been to the suicide forest, mate. And then acting surprised when I find a dead guy. Like, that was just dumb in the way he set the video up. But obviously, like, he's apologized. People make mistakes in it. Like, it was a dumb thing to do, but
yeah,
he won't do it again. Like, so, like, I wouldn't call myself a fan, but it's not like I hate him. Like, I don't have any sort of strong feelings to him, but my problem is because a lot of my audience came from KSI. If I'm impartial at all whenever it comes to KSI in a dispute, like everybody was asking me when that sort of all Deji nonsense was going on. Oh, who do you think's in the right and in the wrong? I was like, I think this is a fucking family matter and the door should be shut and I should shut the fuck up. Like, I don't have any sort of a valid input on this sort of thing. Like, it looks like Deji's being a dick, from what I see, but obviously none of us know, mate. There's 3 sides to every story. There's his, there's Deji's, and there's the truth, isn't it? And that's the same in sort of any situation. So if I ever say anything even remotely positive about Logan Paul, especially early, man, everyone's like, oh, you're snaking KSI. It's like, do you realize in the real world, real human beings, yeah, like, you can like something and I don't like it and we can still be friends? Like, it's not all or nothing. It's like, oh, what, you like the Misfits podcast? Well, fuck you then. This podcast's over. See you later. And just, like, it's just waffly nonsense, mate.
Yeah, but like, KSI's fans are all young children, aren't they?
Yeah,
so they don't care about that.
Yeah, of course. They don't, like, it's the majority of people are lovely. They are very, very nice. But some people go specifically out their way to be dicks. Have you had much experience with like hate comments or anything?
Honestly, my comment section are like the most positive thing ever. Also, when I look at like my likes, some videos of mine get like a 99% like the dislike ratio. Most of them, in fact.
Man,
So I get very positive feedback, which is surprising.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I started doing this channel, I thought I was gonna get so much shit, but
Yeah.
it's been very positive.
Yeah.
I get a lot of comments comparing me to like Lil Board
Yeah.
and other channels like that, saying like, "Oh, they're much better. You're shit," stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I
but
don't really care.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
I know he
isn't
is.
it? Like, how did you meet him? Like not meet him, but like, how did you come across him? Did you find him before he was featured in KSI's videos? Have you been doing it longer? Did you find him before you started?
Oh, that's a good question actually. I think I might have found him before he featured in KSI's videos.
Yeah.
Because back when all of us were like smaller channels, we already kind of knew each other as like a community of the guys that did edits, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there were 3 or 4 channels like us that made that type of videos. So I guess I knew Lil Board before then. I actually knew him from when he used to do live stream edits. There were like a bunch of Twitch streamers that he used to do edits of, and I was watching him then.
Yeah.
When he had like 20k subs.
Man.
And then I don't know if we were talking already back then. I think that was much later when he first messaged me, and we started talking. And now everybody's waiting for us to collab.
Yeah, that was my next
Taking
question.
forever.
Everybody has been asking, but like I've got sort of two, like I've got a question to add on top of that. Obviously, like if and when you guys are planning on doing a collab or anything, and also like how could you collab? How would that work?
Yeah, that's the question.
Because like obviously,
Kind
like
of trying to figure it out.
yeah, you guys both do the sort of
The thing is, like, we both want to collab. Like, we both like each other's videos, obviously, and we'd love to do something together with us and this other channel called Dog Beef.
yeah,
Like, the 3 of us have been kind of in it from the beginning, so we'd love to do something with like the 3 of us.
yeah,
But the thing is, we don't know what.
yeah, like
Neither of them show their face or their voices, so it kind of makes it more difficult. Like, it'll have to be something editing.
yeah,
But, you know, it'll have to be something special that we edit, and not just another podcast.
yeah.
So maybe this boxing thing will give a good opportunity for that, but yeah, for now we just can't think of anything.
Yeah,
good
because
for
like
us to do.
obviously, I don't know the other guy. What did you say his name was? Was Dog Beef?
Dog Beef, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I only know of you and Little Board that do this sort of thing. Like, you definitely both have your own sort of style.
Yeah.
Like his is very intense, isn't it? Like there's a lot of like crazy, Super Saiyan mental stuff. So like,
Yeah.
are you guys
A
definitely?
lot more editing goes into his videos.
Yeah, like you guys definitely have your own sort of style. But I think like the only thing you could really do is if like there's the guy I watch is a music guy, Andrew. I don't even want to try and pronounce his, because I'll get cancelled.
Right.
But maybe it's like Wong or I don't know. But he does a video where he'll give like a music sample to 3 different producers, and they go away and work individually and come back and they show what track they've made out of the same beat that they all started with. So I think you could do something like that if you had like the first sort of clip, and then, but yeah, they don't show their face. I guess they could react to it sort of with their voices. So like if the 3 of you go away and do your own little edit of the same clip, and then sort of react to it. But other than that, I don't know what people are asking for. I don't know how you guys would collab.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we could just all edit the same video, as you say, but, you know, with stuff like this press conference that happens anyway, like, we all edit the same stuff anyway for the most part. So, it would have to be a reactions, yeah, but I don't know if they'd be comfortable, you know, having their voices or their faces on.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely crazy. So, right, some more questions about you. But yeah, you've already answered that one. What do you do in real life? So YouTube is like obviously you're on a gap year from uni now, aren't you? Or like you just finished high school. So how old are you?
I'm 19.
You're 19. Okay. So what do you plan on doing when you get to uni?
The course that I saw that I'm probably the most interested in at the moment is it's called audiovisual media. So it's like film, but every aspect of film. So rather than just the editing or just the directing or just the lighting, you're doing all of it.
Okay.
So you get to really see every type of filmmaking, yeah.
Yeah. So
every aspect of it.
So have you ever made any like? Is it just a sort of supercuts, or have you made any short films, or have you edited anything that's not like there's a actual fire?
I've edited stuff that isn't supercuts, yeah. Like recently on my own channel, I've been experimenting a bit with different types of content.
Yeah.
But even before that, like people knew that I could edit videos. So whenever somebody had like a video for me to edit, they'd come to me, like my brother or my dad or whatever. My dad is in marketing, so sometimes he gets like businessy offers.
Yeah.
I can get to edit stuff there.
Well, that's awesome. So what, like adverts and stuff?
Not necessarily adverts, but yeah, videos from like businesses to, I don't know, thank their customers or that type of thing.
yeah, like the corporate videos.
Yeah.
That's So, do you still live at home with your parents?
Yeah.
And you said you have a brother. Is it just the one sibling you've got, or have you got more?
I have a younger brother and a younger sister.
You're the oldest.
Yeah.
Lot of responsibility there. Like.
Extra pressure, yeah.
Yeah. How old are your siblings?
My brother is 16 and my sister is now 13, I think.
Mate, unlucky. That's some.
Why is that?
Do you get on with your siblings?
Me and my sister get along really well. I guess I'm very much like kind of the protective big brother, you know.
Yeah.
Like we get along really well. My brother is just, he's at that age where he just thinks he's all right all the time, but he's not.
Yeah, like that.
He's a very opinionated guy, so he just starts arguments everywhere.
Yeah, that's 16-year-olds. So I've got a lot of siblings. I've got 3 sisters and 3 brothers. So that's
a lot, yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot. I've got an older sister and an older brother, and all the rest are younger. But I remember, like, it's not that I'm not close with, like, this is gonna sound worse than it is, but I remember I used to be quite close with my little sister when she was younger. The protective big brother thing, like she's 18 now, so she was born in the year 2000, like. But I remember as soon as she started getting to around like 13, she would just kick off about anything all the time, and she me and my brothers used to like sort of fight a lot, not in an aggressive way, but just sort of like a pack mentality, pecking order sort of way. So we all knew where we stood.
Yeah, exactly.
Like so. It's sort of when the one that won the fight was the one that got their way. That's sort of how it went. And it's not like we really hate each other. You just sort of rag each other about a bit, don't you? But yeah, obviously with your little sister, like it's a whole different power dynamic. So that's why I said unlucky. But as soon as she got to 13, it started getting difficult, way more difficult. Like.
Yeah, I'm definitely noticing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just getting more difficult.
Yeah, you've just got like obviously you're older than I was at the time, so I was still an angry little kid trying to deal with my shit as well, like. Yeah, they're great. They're great. I've got nothing bad. It's to say in particular. So outside of YouTube, what are your hobbies? What do you enjoy doing other than editing and stuff?
I play quite a lot of video games. I just like Netflix shows, just laying down and binge watching whole seasons at a time.
Yeah.
I smoke probably more weed than I should.
But is it?
I watch a lot of YouTube.
Is it actually legal where you're from, or is it just sort of overlooked?
It is legal, but only up to a certain amount. Like there's probably certain rules and restrictions to, not get everybody high, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's mostly legal.
So, how close do you live to Amsterdam?
I live on the other side of the country.
So,
Just 2 hours.
so literally as far as you could
small
possibly
country.
be. But man,
I'm not as far as I could possibly be, but I live on like the eastern border, pretty much right next to Germany, and Amsterdam is like an hour and a half, 2 hours by car.
How, like another question that I always like. I assume English isn't your first language.
No,
How are you so good at English?
all Dutch people are, I mean,
Why?
all Dutch people speak English.
Like it
It's,
literally seems like the UK is like, and America, I guess, are like the only places where it's not normal to have more than one language. Like not many people.
But you don't need a second language. You already speak English. Everybody speaks English.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, but like, how many languages can you speak?
Depends on what you say. Speaking a language.
Like hold
I
a
guess, like,
conversation and get
five.
around. Like obviously, like I'm not on about giving a TED talk in whatever language, but just enough to sort of navigate the area and just get on with people. Like,
I'd say like 4 or 5.
well, so I'm assuming obviously it's
But the thing is, yeah, we have a lot of mandatory subjects in school. Like everybody has to do English and Dutch, and then in the school I went to, you also had to do German and French for a couple of years, and I chose to do Spanish for a couple of years. So I guess I'm decent in like 5 languages, but you need practice to keep up.
yeah. I'm sure that you need to practice a lot. So when you're speaking in English, obviously now we're having the conversation. Do you think in English or do you think in Dutch?
I think in English.
Think in English. When did that start, or
Yeah.
or is it sort of being ingrained from school?
Kind of started when I was like 10, probably.
Yeah, like
The thing is, like, I spent a lot of time on the computer when I was younger, like playing video games and on the internet and stuff.
yeah,
And I think that's where most Dutch people learn English anyway. Like, it's a big part of our culture. Like, we listen to American and English music, we watch American and English films, we're on the internet a lot.
yeah.
So everybody just kind of picks it up as they grow up. And I guess it's the same for me.
That
I
that is
pretty much spoke English fluently by the time I was like 12, and that's when I started thinking in English too.
that's crazy. Like, I tried to learn Japanese to pull, basically to pull and to help me watch cartoons. That's why I was learning it. Like I tried to lie at the time and say I was being cultured, but that's like I was trying to get a girl and watch anime. So that's why I tried to learn. But I found like obviously the sentence structure is different.
Yeah.
Like where like the sort of the topic and marker and ownership and all of this shit, like that's kind of different. And I found like I did get pretty good to a point until the girl I was after moved away, and then I gave up. But like as soon as I started to like try to think in Japanese more, it all started being like way easier than the confusion of hearing something in Japanese, translating it into English, and then trying to figure out how to translate my response back all in my head.
Yeah.
Like, but until then, it was something I never thought about like when, like, say I'm speaking to someone who's like English isn't their first language. I never really thought about what language you're thinking in or what language you dream in. Or does it, like, say with your dreams, does it switch, or do you tend to like what language do you dream in? I bet that's a question you've never been asked before.
I haven't been asked that, no.
Breaking boundaries here.
I guess when I'm like actually asleep and dreaming, I'll dream in Dutch because that's kind of what my brain is programmed in.
Yeah.
But when you're laying in bed and you're just listening to music, imagining yourself in like scenarios that will never happen. all of that happens in English for me. Like when I'm still awake, kind of daydreaming, all of that happens in English for me.
Yeah. So like I relate to that massively about listening to music and imagining scenarios that'll never happen, and I think a lot of other people do.
I relate massively to you learning Japanese for a girl. I'm doing the same with like Chinese.
Yeah. But like, what sort of mad situations do you think about? Like, say when I'm getting the bus and I've got like sort of headphones in, I'm seeing like a whole music video in my head, or if it's like a more like aggressive song, I'm fighting off like 15 people.
Sure.
Like I couldn't even fight off a cold, man. But just like in my head, I'm Chuck Norris. Like, what do you think about? What are your fantasies?
Okay, now you're putting me on the spot. I don't know. I don't know. Let's think. I guess similar stuff to that, or just being the ultimate cool guy. Just everybody worshipping you.
Yeah, just you're walking through, everyone. You're amazing. It's
something like that.
It's a little bit. It's a bit depressing. It's a bit depressing that you went from like, oh yeah, I like to think about situations that would never really happen. What kind people liking me? like
If you say it like that, it's so very depressing. It's more like, your imagination is kind of where your ego just grows to the furthest extent.
Yeah,
it's like, how big can I make my ego in this imagination?
Yeah, mine tends to be the sort of like I'm always a sort of dick to myself. In my head, when I'm imagining these mad situations, it tends to be like horrible situation that I don't even like. Like say like I'm getting up on stage and then like my guitar strap breaks and I'm trying to play guitar while holding it up and then there's a problem with the sound system and people start booing me and I'm like why does my brain show me that? That's not good for me, is it? Surely it's like, shit, nobody actually likes you. Like, yeah, never mind the hundreds of thousands of people online telling you you're amazing. They're all just being nice, mate. You're shit. Oh wow.
Do you get that randomly though, or is it like I can imagine if you're like actually gonna perform something that beforehand you kind of imagine things like that, but I don't know if you're just
just sort of randomly, mate. Like I've got like there's something in my head. I don't know what it is. It's just really morbid. Even when I'm writing a song, like most of the time when I go to write a sort of love song, like I wrote one recently called Travels, and it was based on it's not out yet or anything, but it was based on my friend who went to Australia for a couple of years and he met this girl. They fell in love, but he had to move back and like they're still together and stuff. But like that's what inspired me to sort of write the song. So I was writing it and it was about how love, like absence makes love grow stronger and all of that sort of stuff. But then at the end of the song, I killed her in a plane crash, right? And I don't know why, I just can't leave things nice, right? So like the whole song is nice and it's romantic and it's sort of leading up to them getting back together and they're really sort of excited. Then really, really abruptly it drops in that her plane on the way back crashed. And the whole song has been him remembering her, not actually talking to her. Like so it's just like soul destroying stuff. And I don't know why my brain is just so morbid. Every time I try and write any sort of nice story, there's things that would be more interesting if she dies. Like it's super strange, man. I don't know. Maybe I need to talk to somebody with a clipboard. I can't.
Yeah, I think that might be a thing.
Yeah, I just can't really. I don't know. I guess it is more interesting, but obviously, there's just a part of me thinks, oh, maybe if it's too much of a generic love story, it's boring. But then it just always comes into my head, mate.
I get you, yeah. I can imagine that.
Like, it's not like it gets me down. It's just the sort of where a creative sort of process, like it goes to. But there's sometimes, say if I'm in like a really good mood and I'm listening to some music, depending on the style is what I picture basically. Like I've been listening to a lot of old like do you ever play Fallout 3?
No, I never played 3, no.
It's a fantastic game, but I've been listening to a lot of the music from then. It's like 20s and 30s and it's all like very happy, very lovely and that. And when I'm listening to that, I think of like a sort of golden hue over life and everything's all lovely. Then obviously if I'm listening to something a bit heavier, it's just horrible situations of me falling under ice and stuff. I don't know why. Just my brain's not very nice, I guess. Like, obviously, if there's like a badass song, like I do like "Yeah" by Usher, like that. Like everyone saw like a fucking like a Not Another Teen Movie moment where there's like a dance off like at the prom and you're doing the windmill you can never do and stuff, and everyone's like, you're amazing.
Right.
But yeah, it tends to just me being bullied. Like I don't know what it is. So what sort of music do you like, and can you play any? Do you play any instruments or sing or spit bars or anything?
No, I really wish I'd learned the instrument when I was like a bit younger.
Yeah.
I don't have a single grain of musical talent in my body, unfortunately. I really wish I did.
Never too late to learn.
I know. It takes time. At this point, I'm too lazy. I listen to a lot of rap.
Yeah.
Mostly English rappers, actually, rather than American ones.
Yeah. Who's some of your favorites?
My favorites, I really like Reg32, Avelino, Dave. Been listening to a lot of like J Huz and Mostek recently.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the Fire in the Booth?
Yeah.
Which
love those. Yeah.
Which one would you say is your favorite?
Reg32, Fire in the Booth, Part 5.
It's
that one is like incredible.
He is unreal, isn't he?
He is unreal. Honestly, his wordplay is like on another level.
Yeah, like just how like his beats. He's always really good at telling stories and stuff. And obviously, like you say, his wordplay is unreal. The first one I saw was when he was with Avelino, and they did that. He did it to the intro to the XX beat. Which was when obviously Charlie put him on to sort of rewinding that. Have you seen Loki in Akala?
I've seen Akala. I haven't really seen Loki. No.
Loki is insane. Like he got one. I think it's called like Alphabet Assassin or something. Like obviously like their stuff's quite like it's quite more low-key than Akala. Like they both are quite political. But I think it's like it's less political and it's closer to like sort of conscious hip hop, like what it used to be.
Right.
Because obviously there's quite a lot of like sort of flexing and waffling, which is fine. Like music doesn't have to be serious all the time. It doesn't always have to have like a message. It can just be like a good song or a braggy song, or like it doesn't always have to be deep. But when it comes to writing deep stuff like Loki and that, have you seen name again? I think he is called maybe Doc Brown. He's the guy that did the property rap, where he did a rap about cups of tea. He did.
I've heard of him, but I haven't really seen his music now.
Yeah, his Fire in the Booth. The first bit is okay, but the second bit is just unreal, mate. That like I'm a massive fan of that. Do you just listen to like recent hip hop, or do you listen to like the older stuff?
Mostly recent stuff.
Yeah, there's
the thing is, what I listen to really depends kind of on my mood. Like, I listen to a lot of rap, but every once in a while I also listen to like, like film or video game music for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Or like lo-fi hip hop.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Who? I'm assuming you know who Hans Zimmer is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite piece of music he's made?
Oh.
Let me
look at my playlist. I'll have a look. The thing is, everything he does is really good.
Yeah. And so many films he's been a part of have been such an iconic part of my life or my childhood or something. That that I sort of I hear those tunes and like nostalgia just smashes me up, mate. It just takes me all the way back there. That guy's a wizard. He's a wizard.
I'd say his best piece of work is this tune he has called Mountains from Interstellar.
Yeah, and that film.
I'd say that's the best one.
That film is unreal. I think like my favorite one he's made.
It's like that music just kind of keeps building up for like 2 minutes, and then it just fucking hits you like a fucking truck.
Yeah, when it
just it just blows your fucking mind.
Yeah, it does blow your mind, and that's why I like it so much. I've been getting more into like a film score and orchestral music and stuff recently, because I think it's just crazy how there's no lyrics, right? So there's nothing invoking emotion lyrically, but just purely sound can make you feel all of these different things, like when you get goosebumps and when it can make you cry, and all of these absolutely crazy feelings from just music.
I've been listening a lot recently to this composer called Sakamoto. You know him?
Yes, I know of him. What's he done? I've definitely heard that name before.
He hasn't done an awful lot of films, but he does also his own albums. He's done. Let's see what films he's done. He's on The Last Emperor. He's on a couple of like anime films. He did The Revenant.
Yeah.
He hasn't done an awful lot of films, but I really like his music. It's kind of anime vibey, but also kind of mixed with like Western classic music.
It's like just know. Are these people are gifted, man? Like it.
Yeah.
Like I went to see Hans Zimmer live in March, I think, and just like and like it is 100% the best show I've ever seen. Like it, like just there was obviously there was no one there fucking about. There was no trouble because people aren't gonna get pissed and watch a fucking orchestra and start trying to fight, are they? Like, oh yeah, let's do a couple lines of coke so the fucking crescendos hit us harder. Like it's just so yeah, obviously the atmosphere was fantastic, and just obviously when you see it,
I can imagine, yeah.
And
like last year I was in Australia, and I went to this show. It was like you know the TV show Planet Earth.
Yeah.
With David Attenborough. It was like when that came out, they did this live show. It was like they all of these scenes from like the show where they kind of zoom in on all the animals and stuff, and they had like live music there, like a live orchestra, kind of playing to like all of these beautiful shots of nature, and it was like the best show I've ever seen in my life. It was incredible.
Yeah, and it like mate, I've been to festivals and I've had different vibes. I've really enjoyed myself and stuff, but just like it felt like an out of body experience. When good music hits me, it sort of hits me in waves. So like the sort of first wave will like change my breathing like a tiny bit, and then I'll start getting a bit of goosebumps, and then I'm only hit by like one or two more waves, and then like I just sort of like it fills me with dopamine or whatever's getting released. It's like I'm being hit by something. I get goosebumps, my pupils dilate. Like I really really enjoy it. But there, mate, it was the only very crude way I can describe it is like, say if a girl gives you head and you come and she keeps sucking, it's that but in music form. Like I just kept getting hit by wave after wave after wave, and like I was like I'm either gonna pass out or piss myself in a minute. Like it just like totally incapacitated me.
Right.
It's just such an amazing show, man. I'd love to see it again. But it's a sort of a shame that I didn't care until a few years ago, purely because it's classical. Because it's classical music. No, that's for posh people. That's like which is just so dumb. If I could just go back in time to when I was 15 and give myself a backhand and be like, stop being such a little ball bag. Like your opinions are fucking stupid. Stop it and sort yourself out. I wish I could, man, but I guess like I wouldn't appreciate everything I do as much as I do today if I hadn't been a ball bag beforehand.
You know what would be amazing?
What would be amazing?
If you got some like edibles beforehand and you just went into the show.
Wow.
Just sit down for like 5 or 6 hours, just this fucking musical orgasm just hits you.
Like I think it would make me whitey, you know. I think it is semi-west. Like I did have I had a joint before I went in, and I had another one on the intermission. The only problem was is like obviously I was quite self-conscious of the smell, because it was like quite a not a posh crowd, but they're all a bit older, and some people of like the last sort of generation still think that weed is the devil and wanking and makes your hands fall off. So like
exactly,
I was sort of insecure about that, like but yeah, there was another intermission, and I knew if I had one more joint, I would have whiteyed, mate. Like, because they played Time from Inception, which is like one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah.
Just the way it all builds up is unreal. And then I think they played the music from The Dark Knight, and then Interstellar, and it just like like I kept on getting hit by the waves, and normally it sort of gets to a peak and then it sort of goes back down, but they just kept hitting me so much. I thought, like, mate, I thought I was gonna faint. Which I don't know how sound is having that. Like, I guess that's why I like music so much, is because I don't understand really how like sound can emotionally affect you so much. Like,
Yeah.
like,
It's kind of magic.
yeah, it is, mate. Like, music is the closest thing to magic, because obviously, if I say something to you, it can affect your emotion because the words have sort of concepts attached to them, don't they? So like the meaning of what I'm saying could upset you, but or make you happy or whatever. But it's crazy for me that just music with no sort of a thing attached to sort of tell you this is how you should be feeling about it. Like, it can invoke these super powerful emotions where, like, say, like, it'll make me cry, or it can make me happy, it can cheer me up, it can make you angry. Like, it's just, music is magic. And
Definitely, yeah.
and even on like an objective fucking level, mate, like, sound is us vibrating these sound waves and launching them through air, and then your ear picks them up and translates them into whatever it is. Like, that is basically magic, isn't it?
I think that's called science, but
Mate, what?
Close enough.
Like, mate, I don't think there's much difference between science and magic, to be honest. Like,
Sure.
You can explain something to a point, but it can never really be like all the way explained. Like, obviously, you can have like an understanding of something, but it's just everything's weird, man. Like, as soon as we start to talk about weed, it goes into the whoa conversation. But it's to be fair, like, if people want it, we could meet in Amsterdam, and we could have a coffee with Tom. Know what I mean?
We should definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You
have any plans on coming back here?
Yeah, I want to come up. Do you know who Eddie Vandermeer is?
Eddie van der Meer. Sounds familiar, but
He's a guitarist. He sent me a guitar. He does a lot of fingerstyle stuff. He's amazing. He loves.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, he lives like half an hour outside of Amsterdam, and we've been trying to meet up for a while. So yeah, what month are we even on?
It's September, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure we could get one in. If you're free, we could get one in before Christmas.
Sure.
I went in October a couple years ago, and the place was beautiful anyway, so just be a bonus.
Definitely.
But yeah,
you should definitely come over here. We'll do something.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, if people want that, we can. Yeah, we can do an edible and see what happens with it. Just I will take it at the start and see how long it takes until I just lie down and say I'm not doing it anymore.
We'll see if there's some live music we can go to.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the show.
Yeah, that'll be yeah,
definitely.
That'd be awesome. Right, I've got a few more questions for you, and then we'll come back to YouTube at the end.
Sure.
So here's a couple of sort of hypotheticals, just so I can try and understand how your brain works a little better. If you could commit any crime and get away with it, no repercussions whatsoever, like not even a social shame, so no one's even going to be like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Any crime whatsoever, what would you do? No repercussions. And why?
Oh. I just go to Area 51. Just see what's up. Just be like the only person that actually knows the truth about the whole place.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That's a fantastic answer. Yeah, you just sort of, oh, you can't come here. Yeah, I can. I'm allowed to commit any crime today. Safe?
Yeah.
Safe? Okay then, off you go. Yeah, so you just...
That's it, really?
Would you lie? Would you tell people... would you come out and tell the truth, or would you just hold that power and just fuck with people and say there's a portal to another dimension, or they've got photos of everybody's dick, would you just chat bollocks and freak people out, or would you tell them the truth about what's in there?
Depends on what's inside, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, I guess.
I guess I would kind of lie and make jokes about it at first. Eventually, I might. Well, I'll do a YouTube video about it. Imagine the views that would
Ah,
get.
mate, yeah,
Like,
I
I'm the only
stormed.
person to come out of Area 51.
Yeah, I stormed Area 51 and this happened. That's a
Yeah.
that's a banging title. that's a real good title.
Oh man,
So
that would be sick.
that's a sort of another question. Do you believe in aliens?
I believe they exist.
You believe they exist? Do you believe that we've ever had contact?
Ooh. I'm gonna say no, but if there was good evidence, I would believe it like right away.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of on the edge.
Yeah, so you don't think that we have had contact, but for whatever reason the government is covering it up or someone else is covering it up?
I think it's very possible. I think the government definitely doesn't tell doesn't tell the public everything.
100%.
There's definitely things they're hiding.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I think that's a necessity, to be honest. Like, not necessarily with just aliens and stuff, but like how people react to stuff, even on Twitter, how people just blow up and go crazy at things. Like, if you put like complex problems to the general population, most people are too fucking dumb to process something like that and understand how complex a situation is, and mob mentality would kick in. So I would understand why things would be kept from people. But I don't understand why there would. I don't think it would cause mass panic if it was confirmed that there are aliens and they are contacting us. Because if they wanted to do something, I don't think there's any covering that up, is there? Really? So like, if they were to come down and start like enslaving people or fucking shit up or whatever, like there's no covering that up.
Right.
So like, there's like, I don't really think there's a concern. I think it is. I don't know if it's ignorant or arrogant to think that we're the only things in existence that are like alive and sentient, like just this one planet. Out of how big it is and how much room there is out there, there is definitely.
Yeah, it's statistically it's like impossible.
Yeah, like and if the universe really is infinite, then of course we're not the only ones. Maybe we'll never come into contact with them. There's a few different, like, obviously because like you have smoked weed, I've watched plenty of Brian Cox theories of why there isn't, like, why it's so quiet up there, like, why there should be more noise, and maybe they've, like, every civilization gets to a point where they wipe out themselves, like sort of what we're getting a bit closer to with all. If you were first contact, if you were, for whatever reason, right, they've now fucked the White House off, right? We're not going to the Kremlin, we're not talking to the Russians either, we're not going anywhere. We're going to Sir Froge's house, right? And they land on your roof, they scale down the wall, they get in through your window. What's the first question that you ask them?
You want to smoke a joint?
You want to have a joint?
Yeah. Also, if they come in peace, that's the best thing to do, isn't it? Just keep them calm.
Yeah, but maybe it'll send them west, mate. I rather smoke with some people that have started getting a bit weird. Like, some people don't handle it very well. They get paranoid and...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes, so you don't want to sketch out...
My friend gets very aggressive. Yeah, but I think, if you get them stoned, they just stay calm. You can have a chat about them, about the universe.
can have a chat. like that's like, I've just got a vision of you sat there editing away, and you hear a knock on your window. You turn around and it's just ET, and you just open the window and say, "You want to do?" Like, just not. What are you? How did you get here? What are you made of? Like, did you do wormholes? You got interstellar travel? Can you move faster than light speed? What's the meaning of life? Is God real? Just like, you want to have a joint, mate? I'm watching a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have a joint first before you can talk about all the other stuff,
100%. And I think the reason is because everybody knows that it is basically a pointless conversation, isn't it? Like, you're not getting anywhere. It's fun, but it's pointless. But if you're sober, you're really quick to sort of rein in your more, like, stupid thoughts, basically. Like, they're just sort of mad. Like, well, maybe. well, what if lizard people are real? And just all of that shit. Obviously, when you're sober, you rein that in. But when you've had a smoke, you end up going on tangents. My only problem is if I've had a smoke, I can be like halfway through telling you a very important story and then just forget completely what I'm talking about. Like not not even a general direction, man. Like we can be talking about something super specific and then just out of nowhere, like I don't know, maybe I'll drop something or something will distract me for a second, and I come back and it's like, right, the last 2 hours of my life is gone. I don't know what we were talking about and I don't know what happened. It's just crazy. But yeah, we should.
I mean, if aliens did come into my room and smoke a joint with me, I'd probably film it, you know.
Mate, that
put it on YouTube.
Yeah, that clickbait. That clickbait.
I smoked a joint with ET.
And
that's like the best video ever.
Yeah, and here's what happened. Like, it's like that might say something about us as YouTubers, though, isn't it? Like our first, as a species, our first contact with another intelligent species from another planet, and our first thought is clickbait on that, mate. Let's just get him baked and fuck with him a bit. Let's just get him really high and give him.
That would be sick though.
I give him like an apple pie that's slightly too hot and see how he tries to eat it, because he's stoned, so he's got the munchies, so he wants to eat it. He doesn't want to wait for it to cool down and just see how he goes about it. Like, just that's what we need. That's really
just
what we need.
Experiment on him while I'm stoned. That's the best plan we have.
Yeah. Just start fucking with him. So the next question, right? You've got a dinner party now, right? Your alien wants to meet some more of your YouTubery friends, right? So you can invite 3 YouTubers into your dinner party. Who are they?
I'd say J Station, so they can experiment on him.
Yeah.
If we need one person to sacrifice, like, I guess it's him.
Yeah, they can have Jay.
Let's see. I'd take PewDiePie because I think he's smart. He'd communicate with them, and he could show that to a lot of people.
Yeah. Seems like a nice guy as well, doesn't he?
He seems like a nice guy, definitely. Yeah. Let's see, who else would I get on? I'm just going through my subscriptions right now, looking for somebody. I mean, who would be good with aliens?
Alex Jones, mate. I knew about you the whole time.
Oh yeah, Alex Jones. Just get Alex Jones on.
Yeah, it'd get him stoned as well.
That would be the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Fucking a stoned alien, Alex Jones. They're experimenting on J Station, and PewDiePie is just kind of there. It would be like the best video ever made.
Oh my god, yeah, you've got a high ass alien, but I don't know if I'd introduce him to Jay Station, because if they knew us as a species could go so fucking wrong, maybe they might just like, all right, this planet's gone. Like, we can't have these fuckers running about, right?
Yeah, but like, if aliens discover humans for the first time, they're gonna want, see what we're made of.
Yeah, but
so we have to give at least one person for them to cut open.
Yeah, but like, maybe give them.
Gotta be somebody we can miss.
Maybe give them someone like. If it's purely like a physical experimentation, fine. But we'd have to like gag him or something, because we can't have that Mong talking to the aliens, mate.
Yeah, just put him in a cage. Fine.
Put him in a cage. If you don't know who...
Put a dog collar on him.
If you don't know who J Station is, he does a lot of clickbait when people have just died. Like, he did it with... like everybody, didn't he? Mac Miller, he said that he got him coming through, what was it? One of those... Well, first of all...
It was like the Ouija board at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Talking to this dead person.
Yeah, and like, was it like the same day he died or the day after?
I think it's the day after.
Yeah, it's fucking grim, man. Like, proper... and his sort of audience is obviously young, because no one of a rational mind is watching that nonsense today. But like, my questions are for when people like that have a big audience. It's like, what the fuck is where are your parents? Like, all these sort of young kids that are watching J Station and stuff like that. Like I let my kids watch a few people on YouTube, I watch this guy called Collins Key, who always like looks like he's gonna fucking explode, but like he's just very enthusiastic for the kids. If it's on when I'm in the room, mate, I do want to either get in the oven or jump out the window, but obviously it's not. It's sort of like Morgs' content, isn't it? It's not aimed at me. It's like the kids will watch him sometimes as well. Like it's obviously it's cringy and I hate it, but like there's nothing dangerous about it. Like so, like they'll watch those or like a couple of reaction channels like Infinite List and stuff like that, where like, I know that they don't swear, they don't talk about anything too dodgy. They don't like it's safe. But then when there's people like J Station who are aiming it particularly at kids, it just sort of fucks me up a bit, man.
You know, he has like 5 million subscribers.
Oh, like, but like at the same time, that does give me a bit of faith, because I think if that guy doing what he does can be so big, then there's hope for me. Like 100%, mate. Like there is no way we live in a world where like everybody is interested in that noise, but no one gives a fuck about what I have to do or say. Like that, like that's not real. And if it is, then I don't want to be on the platform, mate. Like it's.
You should add a ghost to a freestyle at 3 a.m. Ouija board freestyle.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I was just about to. Yeah, this is a joke and it's not real. But I could do a collab with Mac Miller like he did and just go bar for bar with him. Just do it through the fucking Ouija board. It's not real, boys. It's a joke. Ghosts aren't real. Don't worry. How about that? Do you think ghosts are real?
No.
Nah.
I feel like, especially in America, everybody has like a ghost story or something, some supernatural experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like here in Europe, like nobody really has something like that.
Yeah, like some people do, but the type of people it is are also the type of people when in school they were walking home and they got jumped and they fought off like 18 ninjas in a tank. Like it's just like I'm not totally closed off to the idea. I just think it's bullshit. Most of the stories I hear from people, I don't think they're all necessarily intentionally lying. But I don't know if you've ever done any hallucinogens before, but you can fucking see things that aren't there, man. Like for real.
Yeah.
Like, and things like I'll get my Joe Rogan on, things like DMT, like are the things that you see when your dreams seem super real. So like around that, the sort of night terrors and stuff, when like people say that they see things sat at the bottom of their bed, and they just go, all right, well, it's got to be a ghost then. Like I haven't seen any evidence. I don't believe anybody's story. Even like I said, I don't believe that they're intentionally trying to deceive me and trying to lie to me. But I think that they've misunderstood what has happened. And a lot of people, the sort of end argument, it's a lot with religion too, is it's like, right, well, we can't explain everything fully, so it has to be magic, right? Like, so, like, say if something randomly fell off your wall now, it could have been a water pipe that collapsed a mile underground or whatever, and it's caused a chain reaction, which has vibrated up and knocked that off, and there's no sign of it until you go digging, right? It's a mad, like, that is a mad sort of idea, but isn't that more realistic than a actual conscious sentient dead person pushed it off my wall?
No, I think it was that stoner alien in the corner.
yeah, maybe he's got telekinesis, like that might be it. But like I would like to believe it. I'm open to believing it. I just haven't seen any evidence yet that would make me believe it. And the people that claim to be able to talk to ghosts and talk to spirits, like the psychics, that annoys me, man. I think that's a bit.
I was last Tuesday. I was my friend is comes from a Buddhist family, so and his mother works at like this temple in Amsterdam. So sometimes I hop along to some like Buddhist events. Now last Tuesday there was this very important Buddhist figure called Master Lu. He was gonna have a speech here in the Netherlands. He was coming to this huge arena. Like 10,000 Chinese people just showed up, and he was going to speak to them and do some totem reading where he like communicates with the spirits and stuff like that. And I went along with my friend, and I got some very nice seats at the very front, so I got a good view of this Master Lu. And he kept, at the end some people got to ask him questions about whatever, and he'd answer them. And you know, to some people he was like scarily accurate. Like he guessed somebody had a pig as a pet, just without her saying it.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd. That makes you think like, how the fuck does he know that?
Yeah.
But other things is like, he told this one woman that she would live to be exactly 82 years old. And the woman was kind of like, what the fuck do I do with this information?
Yeah, what the fuck do I do
like-
with that?
With other people, it's also like, yeah, I can feel a dark energy in your chest. I think you have like lung cancer or something. And the woman would be like, oh yeah, I got diagnosed last week. I have lung cancer. Yeah. I don't know how he does stuff like that.
Like,
Because those people aren't all actors.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, my friend recognized a few of them from his temple. Like, they're just normal people, but he does seem to know everything about them.
yeah, but like there's been like those big, like, what are they called? The stadium pastors. Like where they stand at the front and they're like, please the Lord, and then they start to chuck the demons out of people and stuff and all of these mad sort of dramatic things.
Right. Yeah.
Like there's been a couple of those where like how deep it went and how complex it was to how much it was set up and how they were looking at people's records and stuff. Obviously, I'm not saying it was 10,000 actors and you were the only one in there that wasn't an actor and they fooled you and that's why it happened. Like, but there's quite a lot. It's the same way they do like the tarot card reading and stuff like that. There's a lot of vague stuff that applies to people and they're very good at reading people. They are talented.
Yeah.
And I've been to I went to a spiritual church with my mum because she believes in it all. I went when I was younger and the woman came up to me and she said about my schoolwork and about like how my spelling wasn't very good and my handwriting was bad and that I was into music and what sort of music I was into. And I was sat there like, holy shit. Like, how has she come up with all of this stuff? And it was, and my mum had been there like a couple of times, but it was so accurate, man. I was like, there must be like a ghost over her shoulder telling her this. Because obviously, I was 14 and I was still in that sort of mind frame of if I can't explain it, it must be magic. So she was coming up with all of this stuff, but then it wasn't until like a couple of years later that I realized like the way I was dressed would have given a lot about how I am. Like, because obviously, like I was like,
Right.
like
Yeah.
I was dressed all sort of like my jeans were ripped. Like I wasn't well kept, which would mean like I don't have that much of an attention to detail. Which would make sense that my handwriting is not great. I'm a 14-year-old boy at the time, so my spelling obviously isn't going to be very good, and neither is my workbook or whatever. So like it sort of makes sense, and that sort of thing I don't mind, mate. If you go to a spiritual church and it makes you feel better and you get some condolence out of it, great. I wouldn't take that away from you. Like where I start having a problem with it is when people are paying for these readings and saying like, "Oh, my daughter's missing. Is she alive?" And people are taking the money and lying to these people.
Right.
And I saw that happen when my mum's mum died. That's when my mum first started getting into speaking to the spiritualists and that. And then like a few months later, my granddad died as well. And she was just getting fucking rinsed, man. She was paying out so much fucking money just for these people to come around and lie to her. It was grim. It was super grim. Like, so
Yeah.
I've got a big problem with that. And a lot of people would argue the point like, oh well, if it makes them feel better, it gives them the closure, whatever, innit? It's like, yeah, but if you give like, if you give a junkie some crack, it's gonna make him feel better, but it's not good for him, is it? Like, because he's not coping and dealing with his problem and stuff. So that's sort of grim. I would like to believe in ghosts, but I just think there's too many fucking wafflers. Like, people are either lying for attention or they're not lying intentionally. But either way, I don't believe any ghost story that I've ever had. Or like, it's just until I see something,
Same.
then it's just not true. And even if I see something, mate, like there's probably an explanation for it. So unless, like, say I'm talking to you right now, unless somebody just Avengers in reversed materialized in front of me right now, it was like ghosts are real, and then disappeared again, and I caught it on camera, then I'd just be like, I wouldn't sort of believe that. Are you religious at all, or are you an atheist?
No, I'm an atheist.
So, Like total atheist. There's no. You're not agnostic at all. You don't think there could be something. You just think it's all.
I've never believed in any sort of God. No.
No.
I mean, to a lot of like the big answers, I just don't really care. Like,
Yeah.
knowing if there was something before the fucking Big Bang, like, it doesn't affect me in any way. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, why would I spend my life worrying about that sort of stuff?
Yeah. I know exactly what
yeah.
you mean, but I think like a religion.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's like a creator of everything.
Nah, like there's quite a lot of arguments which are just fucking stupid, and like I say there's quite a lot. I don't care what anybody thinks. I only care how people think. So as long as they're being rational about it, it's fine. But I see a lot of the arguments for like, say, the Christian religion is like, like I'll say, prove to me there is a God, and it's like the Bible's full of evidence. I was like, the Bible is a book written by men, and this is like the 4th translation of it. So unless you can read ancient fucking Hebrew, you don't even know what you're reading yourself. So that's like there's a bunch of different fucking versions of that. So that isn't proof. You can't show me a book you've written and tell me it's proof. Like that's not it.
Right.
And then they say, well, there has to be a designer. Why? Like, because how else would it happen? Like, so I think quite a lot of it. Again, I understand why people do it, because people need to. Quite a lot of people need that sort of understanding, because it makes them feel like they have a point in life or whatever else. And mate, I would never try and take it away from anybody. I wouldn't try and convince somebody there wasn't a God, because mate, if your whole family dies but you can tell yourself God's got a planet and it can keep you going, I'm not going to take that away from somebody.
Right.
But the only time I sort of argue the point about a religion is when I see like the evangelists and like the street preachers that are like, if you're gay, you're going to hell, save yourself now. And it's like, you're a fucking loser, man. Go home. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You're out on the street just giving people a hard time.
I'm very much like, you can believe what you want to believe as long as you don't bother other people with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 100%, mate. And I couldn't really agree more with that. Like, whatever you want to believe, fine. But just keep your shit over there, innit? Like,
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody does, to be honest. As long as it's only affecting you, then I don't care. And that's another reason why I can't understand why people are like sort of homophobic and stuff, right? Because like, if you take away the sort of sex stuff and then and replace that with say like cake, right? If I like cake and you don't like it, even if say you're diabetic, so you can't even have it, right? You're that extreme. Why on earth would it be your place to tell me not to eat cake? Like, I don't understand how people got.
Because eating cake is bad and you're influencing our youth to eat more cake.
Yeah.
Terrible person.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's bad. Because the book said. Or because they say, or because they can't explain it, or whatever else. But like, I don't understand how anybody gets so like self-entitled, to feel that they're in a position to tell people things like this. Like, nah, you have to like you can't do this, you can do that, blah blah. It's just I really can't imagine being in that mind state, man. Like, how are people...
No, I agree, yeah.
How are people so fucking aggy? Just mind your business, innit? Like, I think part of the reason, like, if you imagine, right, if we went back to, like, hunter-gatherer days, where if we didn't go out and get our food, then our tribe starts dying off. So we have to all work together, and our priority is food. I don't think people were arguing about this bullshit back then, were they? About all the stuff we argue about now, about, like, Brexit and pronouns and all the other shit people complain on both sides about, like, and nobody seems to be willing to just compromise. Like, it's like, it's not just you, mate. You're not the only one in this fucking building, are you? Like, calm down. Like, I don't know. I wonder where that entitlement comes from, and I wonder why there's people like us, say, that are more passive. It's like, you do you, I don't really care. And why there's other people that are like, nah, you can't do this. What you've done here upsets me. So every time I come around you and your things, I get upset. No, I'm not going to stop coming around you and your things. I'm going to make you change. Like, how the fuck is that your mindset?
I feel like people nowadays are way too radical in their beliefs. Like, they'll choose a side and then just believe everything that side believes, you know,
Yeah.
regardless of whether they actually agree with it themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's much easier to just listen to somebody else and do what they say.
Yeah, because
you know, they
then you don't have to
kind
think.
of look for what kind of correlates with their beliefs, and then just pick that side and just fully believe everything.
Yeah, because it's.
And I guess
People
that, you know, people like us kind of in the middle that are still, you know, listening to both sides. I guess we're kind of the anti-movement to that.
Yeah, yeah, but like, I don't know how many people actually behave that way. That's what I've been thinking more and more recently. When obviously, like, there's been a few times on Twitter I've got a whole bunch of shit because I've tweeted. Like, it happened yesterday, I think. Because like, I tweeted something people don't like, and I get like a bunch of abuse. Like, it'll be a joke or something. And like literally yesterday, and I said in my last tea with Tom, I literally said that it's always the same demographic. It's girls between the age of like 14 and 19. And the reply guys that are trying to shag them. Right, that's the only people that ever sort of jump on me and give me this sort of shit. It's always the same sort of demographic, and it's always a sort of this sort of entitlement sort of view where like they're coming at you quite aggressively, like are telling you what you need to do and how you need to do it and stuff. But it's easier because you don't have to think, right? If you just jump in with a mob and get in a mob mentality, they've done the thinking for you. Like, if you agree on like most things, right? So say if like let's just say person A is they're a really nice person. They I don't know, they do charity work. They've publicly said some obvious shit that people just seem to enjoy people saying for some reason, like fucking, I don't know, rape is bad, or like just something that's like that you can't contest, like equal rights for everybody, like important obvious things. They think that. Right, so it's like, right, well, they think mostly the same as me, so whatever they're thinking, whatever their viewpoint is, will be basically how I think anyway, so I'll just blindly follow that. Whatever they say, I've got their back. And it's a bit terrifying, but I don't know how many people...
Exactly that, yeah.
I don't know how many people like that actually exist in real life, because maybe in my 26 years of existence, I've come across maybe 3 people in real life that weren't drunk, obviously, like drunken people on drugs are different, but like people that were sober that have been... and didn't have a disability, like a learning difficulty. Like obviously there's people with like certain types of autism and stuff, which like I've got family on the spectrum. It's not offensive to say, I'm saying an objective fact, but like people with learning difficulties being irrational and a bit like trying to avoid the word crazy, but you know what I mean, like just hard to deal with.
Yeah.
That's sort of understandable, but like. Sort of, for lack of a better word, normal. I'm not saying you're not normal if you're not, but you know what I'm getting to. I just need to fucking tiptoe around this bullshit. But like normal people, everyday, like your average human, maybe in 26 years I've met 2 or 3 people in real life that are just so irrational you can't deal with.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier to be irrational on the internet.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the whole thing of not having to face somebody and, you know, telling somebody they're wrong behind the shield so this your screen.
Yeah, like it's...
Especially online, like, especially when sending hate towards somebody. It's much easier to do that over Twitter than in real life.
Yeah. Like, it's mad how far in people go, and it's just... It sort of makes you understand, like, say for example, almost every time I've had some shit on Twitter, I've had messages of people telling me to kill myself, and to delete my channel, and that they can't believe I'm a dad and I don't deserve kids and all of this stuff because they disagree with this one point, right? They disagree with this one thing I'm saying. So all right, yeah, take my kids. You're right. Yeah. Like this must mean I'm a shit dad, right? If I think this particular joke is funny, mate, take my kids off me. Like so it always goes to such an extreme. But then if you go onto their Twitter feed, they're either giving a bunch of people shit, which tends to be the way, like they're sort of offended at a lot of different things, and they're just on Twitter that day trying to find things to be angry or upset about. Or there's there'll be a lot of posts about how male suicide prevention day, and how it's okay for men to talk out and blah blah blah, and then I'll make a video talking about it, and the same people are telling me no one cares and to kill myself, and it's like just this whole bakery. That's why I need to step out of it. It's very easy when you spend too much time in like social media and doing what we do, where you're like reading the comments and this That like that's like I don't know how well that represents real life. Like,
Right.
because I generally have not met many people that actually behave that way in real life, and I don't know if it's just because I'm not where they would be, I guess. But like I've been in some pretty diverse crowds, and most people in my life, I would say a good 98% of interactions I've had with other people have been pleasant. Like in general, people are quite nice, aren't they? Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like if you watch the news or read Twitter or whatever, you'd think that everyone's out there fucking raping and stabbing everybody. Which, like, mate, it does happen, but I don't think it happens as much as we expect it to. Because realistically, like, how many violent things have you seen in your life? Like the videos you see on Twitter where somebody runs up and gets stabbed. Maybe in your lifetime you'll see like 2-3 extreme acts of violence. But mate, out of 70 years, that's a good ratio for me, mate.
I mean, that's kind of to us though, you know. Like, there's definitely parts in the Netherlands and probably in London as well, where those things happen a lot more frequently.
Yeah.
Where kids see those things at a very young age.
Yeah.
And just growing up are kind of normalized to it, and then do the same when they grow older, you know.
Yeah.
Like, especially, I listen to a lot of these rappers, and they all talk about London like it's the fucking war zone.
Yeah. Like, mate, and there is places that you just don't go. That you don't go at night, or at fucking any point, and there's places where you will die over postcode. So like there is obviously like there's but I think there's places kind of everywhere in every town where there's like a sort of a particular rough spot. It tends to be where there's more like poverty and stuff, and where it's more like social housing. And like there's obviously there's a whole great big stream of variable factors on why people might sort of behave that way. But I think it's quite easy to see it all and just be scared of going outside, which. Yeah, I think that contributes a lot to the sort of the anxiety of things. Because if you imagine, like, most people when they're a child, they don't really have anxiety like that. Like, they'll be nervous of stuff, but then like mom or dad will pat your back and tell you to go do it, and you're okay, and you're that. But I think like the sort of if you. It's difficult because just because you're not paranoid, it doesn't mean no one's out to get you. But
yeah,
likelihood is no one's out to get you, to be honest. Bad things do happen, and you do have to be aware of them. But if it's to the point where you're so worried about doing things, like I was like that for a while. I got pretty badly beaten up once. Just a random attack, but like it made me scared to go outside. It made me scared of strangers. I was like agoraphobic and stuff. It fucked me up for a while. I think it took.
You got randomly beat up.
Yeah, man, it was fucking just wrong place.
Why?
Wrong place, wrong time, mate. I was walking home, and somebody asked for a cigarette, and because I was smoking one, I said like this is literally my last one, and it was. He told me that I was lying to him. I was like, no, I'm not. He's like, oh, well, give me that then. I was like, I'll give you some of it, but I'm not asking for some. I said, give me all of it. And like I said, like I was like, let me have a little bit more, and then I'll give it to you. And then as I was talking, he punched me in the face, and he was like considerably bigger than me as well. Like we went to the same school. I think I was in like year 8, so I was maybe like 12 or 13. In year 10, so like 15 or something. And obviously there's like a huge weight difference and height difference and everything. So he punched me and it dropped me.
Yeah.
And then he took it off me and he was telling me like if he asked for something, I give it to him. As I was trying to get up, he kicked me in the face. And then like he just fucked me up for a while, man. Like I was pure begging him to stop, and he fucked me up. It only stopped because like, mate, there was cars driving past as well while he was fucking me up in the middle of the street. It was like a busy road. But it only stopped when some bloke, like, came, like, he obviously heard me shouting for help and he came running out of his house and mate, he ran away. But, like, that fucked me up pretty bad, man. It was, like...
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it was grim, mate. I was scared of everything. I was scared of, like just anybody bigger than me, like because obviously it was so random and I did nothing, and even when he was beating me up, like I was apologizing. I was saying like I'm really sorry, stop. Like even though like I don't know what I was apologizing for, I just wanted it to stop. But it was just like it turns out that kid had some fucking issues, mate. Like he had a bad time out. Like I'm not saying that's okay. Like okay, well it's sound he beat me up, but like he's not necessarily like he did an awful thing. He's not necessarily an awful person. I have spoke to him since. It was when I was older, and it took me a long time to get it in me to forgive him because he just fucked me up, man. There was nothing I could do about it whatsoever. But then yeah, I was scared for a long time. I wouldn't even walk to the shop, which was like 2 minutes down the road from my house, unless I had my brother or like one of my more like fighty friends with me. I was too scared. And then after about 6 months to a year, I realized like that's the first time in my entire life something like that happened. I'd never even really heard of things like that happening. Like, and like I knew of him. I saw him. I didn't know him, but like I maybe saw him around school a couple of times. Like I didn't know anything about him, and then obviously just for it to escalate so quickly, and because I was young and it was so sort of scary. But like what got me out of the like obviously it was slowly exposure. Like I was going to the shop with my brother, and then I'd walk past people and they wouldn't randomly assault me. I'd be like, oh well, maybe not everyone's a dick. And like mate, like I got to a point where I thought that any stranger could randomly attack me for no reason, right? Which I guess is kind of true, but the likelihood of that happening is very, very unlikely. So that sort of pulled me out of it again. But I see online quite a lot, there's like a vision of the world painted where it's like, you can't joke about that, you can't do this, they're ruining comedy, they're ruining this. Like, I don't think they are. I think there's like a couple of people that are kicking off about a couple of things. But I don't think like in the grand scheme of things, like the silent majority don't really care. Like, I don't think there's any big changing factor that like the world is going mad. I don't really think that's happening, mate. I think there's always been mad individuals, and there's always been horrible things that happen and will happen, and it will always happen. But I don't think it's any worse today than it is then. I think we live in the best time we've ever lived in right now, to be honest.
True. Yeah.
Because it's not the dark ages anymore, is it? It's not like we're drilling holes in heads to get rid of headaches, or like there's some parts of the world that are still a bit behind. They need to do some catching up, but like our medicine. Mate, our medicine is unreal. You can have a heart attack and they can cut your heart out and put a new one in. Like, isn't that crazy?
It is, yeah. We definitely live in like the best time to live in.
Yeah.
But I can also definitely think like we also on the other hand have like depression as a growing problem, and everybody's becoming antisocial. Like we definitely have our problems.
Yeah.
Just how are we gonna?
Yeah, like of course we've definitely.
How like technology at this point is like growing exponentially. Like it's going faster and faster. You know?
Yeah.
So I heard somebody talk about this. If you look at like a graph of an exponential line, eventually that curve is gonna go almost fucking vertical. You know?
Yeah.
Like we're almost getting at the point where like technology is gonna fucking skyrocket in a matter of a couple of years.
Yeah, that's when we have
like,
the god tier level fucking AI and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. We just got to figure out, how we as a species are gonna live with that, all of that new stuff, and still be human,
but
be social, and not kill ourselves doing it.
Yeah, like I don't know how much of like say like I'm sure the numbers are huge in terms of depression and anxiety and all of these different numbers, but I don't know how much more we have now, or if it's just more reported now. So like if we're just more aware of what the symptoms are, and because like it's sort of, say if it was even 20-30 years ago, if a guy said he was depressed, it would be man up you pussy. It would be a lot of that sort of stuff. Now everybody's really pushing the narrative that it's okay to be a man and talk about your feelings.
Yeah, I also feel like depression nowadays is like, it's almost like cool to be depressed.
Yeah, I was just
like, especially those 14 to 19-year-old girls you talk about, like, oh, I'm so depressed.
Yeah.
I'm so unhappy. Boo.
Yeah, but like,
I feel like all of them are just kind of looking for attention.
Yeah, me too, right? And that's I was going to try and find a prettier way to say it, but you've just said it for me, which is fantastic, nice and blunt. But yeah, I think quite a lot of it comes from like I'm sure the actual numbers, the actual like that you'd get from the NHS or wherever your medical fucking people are that are doing it. The actual numbers, I'm sure they are quite high, but I don't know. Like I don't necessarily think there's been a rise. I think it's just there's more exposure to it. So like people know what they're diagnosing now, and I think a lot of people like those. Like that demographic, we need to think of a name for them. Those girls in the reply guys, the ones that virtue signal and just cry about everything. Like,
just sad,
like,
sad girls.
Yeah. So the sad girls and the reply guys.
I'm a genius.
Yeah, you are a genius. That's so articulate.
How do I come up with this stuff?
Mate, honestly, you should get into writing songs, mate. Articulate that. It brought a tear to my eye. So the sad girls. Like, I think there's quite a lot of people, like you said, because it is almost sort of trendy to like have this sort of disorder or whatever. I think quite a lot of people self-diagnose.
Yeah, that too.
So like they've never been to the doctor. Like they've just I feel bad, so therefore I'm depressed. I don't want to go outside, so therefore I'm anxious. But like, you can be sad. If you're just sad or if you're just having a bad day, it doesn't necessarily mean you have clinical depression. Like, where you go to a doctor, you get diagnosed and stuff, and like it's the same with anxiety, right? Everybody feels anxious, right? And like everybody has a level of social anxiety. Like even when I've played on a stage to, I think biggest crowd was probably about 600 people. So just me and 600 people watching me, and I know I'm pretty good at what I do, especially with a live crowd. It works really well. The interaction's great. But just before I get on stage, every time, mate, my arsehole is giving it 10p, 50p. I am terrified. I get butterflies. I feel sick. I feel like I want to pass out. I don't want to do it, but then I just do it anyway. Like,
yeah.
So
that's normal, though.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
normal emotions, mate. Like we all do feel sad, and sometimes you do feel sad for no reason. And it's not just so I think a lot of it is self sort of diagnosed, and it's just like you were saying, it's like another club to be in. So like
exactly.
So it's another us versus them group you can jump yourself into. I honestly think as well that's why quite a lot of people that fight the LGBTQ corner are only doing it because they want a fight, they want an argument. It's not necessarily that they're invested in this. It's just, if they weren't arguing about that, they'd be arguing about something else. Like, it's insane the amount of times I see people, including myself, that get shit. Like, that get called a homophobe. And, like, throwing those words around as well is dangerous, man. I see it a lot. Like, everyone's so quick to, he's racist because he misspoke, say, for example. Or somebody said, like, right, here's a fucking good example of I nearly lost my job once when I was working in KFC, right? I've stopped doing it now because it's just sort of too dangerous to explain to people, right? But when people are stupid, say if we're talking and you do something stupid, I'd call you a monkey. And the reason I would call you a monkey is because you're less evolved than I am, because you're stupid, right? That is why I would call people a monkey. You're not acting like a sensible person, you're being a monkey.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I worked in KFC, and I was working with a guy called CJ, and like we've been friends for a while. CJ is a black guy. He put the fryer on as a filter, and he opened it up, but before you open it, you have to put like the drum underneath to catch the oil. But he didn't do that, so he just opened it up, and hot oil spilt all over the floor. And he shut it off. He's like, "Fuck's sake!" I was like, "You like?" I was like, "CJ, you monkey, what have you done?" And obviously, like, I'd call him that a bunch of times. He like, I might have even got it from him. And then he was laughing. He's like, "I am a fucking monkey, mate. What a moron. What have I done here?" Like, he's like, "All right, I'll sort it out." And then I got pulled into the office by the manager, and she was saying like, "How dare you?" and blah blah. And like, I didn't even know why I was there initially. I was like, "What's going on?" And he said, we don't tolerate racism in this store and this and the other. I was like, well, okay, why are you telling me this? Oh, I've just heard you call him a monkey, and that was the only time it actually that went together in my head like that. So obviously, I was like, wow, so you're the racist one then. You've heard me call him a monkey and you assume it's because he's black. Like, that's insane. And literally, I had to pull him in, explain it to him, and he was like, no, it means I'm stupid because I did something real stupid. We do it all the time. But I nearly got fired for that. Like, and it's like that virtue signal, he didn't have a problem with it whatsoever because he knew what I meant and what I was saying. But then people could call me, write me off entirely as a racist because of that. Because I said that thing, which some people, not the actual subject, the only person that matters in a situation, he doesn't think it's racist, but somebody else does. So to label somebody with something that puts you in the same brand as like Nazis and the KKK and all of this stuff, it's crazy. It's crazy to be chucking all of these things around. Like, if somebody has a different opinion to you, and you go, yeah, well, that means you're one of this list of bad things. So what do you think you're going to get done? Your little echo chamber is going to expand until it collapses, and then you're just all going to be exposed as being mongs, to be honest. Like, I don't think there is a conversation, a real conversation anybody could have where nobody got offended. I literally, I don't think...
Especially now.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible, but I still, like I said earlier, I don't believe that's the majority. I still think that's the minority of the way people behave and the way people think. I still think the vast majority of people are rational. There's just this sort of group that have been echo chambered in so long, and there is other content creators that cash in on that. They cash in on the virtue signal and they're like, oh, well, say this to be popular, and they deny themselves of an opinion, which they're allowed, mate. Fair enough. Not everybody cares that much. I'm not saying it makes them bad people, but it doesn't help the problem. Which is a bit sort of worrying. But again, I think the majority of people are nice. Most of the experiences I've had in real life with other people have been nice. And it's very easy to look at the world with a very dark, overcast cloud on it because of all of the nonsense you see all the time. But like, good shit happens, man. Good shit happens a lot, an awful lot. There is good people out there doing good things. Just, it's not as entertaining to read, and it's not as headliney as these people have blew a building up. There's been a bomb again. There's been fucking kids being trafficked and all of this.
True.
It does happen, but the world isn't all fucking doom and gloom. It's not all rainbows and sunshine either. But yeah, I think you could get say our little alien friend, if he looked at our social medias and our news networks, I think he would think we're a lot worse than we are.
Probably, yeah.
How we frame things. But that's part of the reason why I wanted to start doing this a podcast as well, is because it's hard to explain yourself in 140 characters on Twitter, or 280, whatever it is now. I don't know if it's hard to explain yourself in that. And also in like a 10-minute. And I figured, like, the people that care and the people that are invested will watch the longer form of stuff, which is what I'm interested in. It's what I want to do. I want to have conversations. I want to get to know people. I want to get to know how other people think, see what we agree on, see if we disagree on anything. Because, like, that's... I love being wrong. I love being proved wrong. And if, like... Because, mate, every time I'm proved wrong, I learn something. Why wouldn't you like being wrong? It's, like, it's good. And I don't tie my opinions to my ego. So... If I, like, say, if, like, we could disagree on basically anything, unless it was something ridiculous, like, if you were like, yeah, I think we should be able to rape women. If I'm strong enough to take it, I can have it. Unless it's something ridiculous, like that, there wouldn't,
yeah.
There wouldn't be a problem. It's nice.
I mean, from an evolutionary standpoint, you could say that, you know... Women are just the weaker. Actually, no. Let's not.
No, mate, that's a fucking dangerous track. That is, because that leads to a bunch of other questions that are very difficult. I thought about asking a couple of questions that, like, but I wouldn't want to do it to you, because if you just gave your honest opinion, it could be misconstrued into such bullshit. Or even if you just say I don't know, just not even knowing is fucking dangerous enough. Like, especially when you're talking about biological things and whatever else, and even though we've like,
I very much try to like stay away from politics on Twitter.
Yeah.
Stay away from politics and controversial stuff like that. Because I mean, I'm a frog that makes memes. Nobody cares about my opinion.
Exactly. It's just, yeah, it's just safer, and like it's not. I've been thinking more recently, like obviously it's still important to have the conversation about things, even if they don't affect you. I think the argument like, you're not in this category, so you don't have an opinion, is just dumb. Really dumb. Because I'm not in the ocean either, and I'm not in the pond, but I also have opinions about how we're treating the ocean and stuff, and like so yeah, obviously I think that's a dead point. Unless you're emotionally invested, you don't get to talk about it, which is a bit dumb. But like, I don't hold any strong opinions on anything really that infringes on somebody else's. Like, I don't think there's anything that, yeah, the only things I'd interject on really is if people were like, if what they were doing was detriment to other people. That's probably the only time I'm like, you probably shouldn't be doing that. But for the most part, it's just like, yeah, whatever, you do you, innit? Mate, if you want to dress up like a fairy and go on a mad one, you do that. Right? If you want to dress up like a frog and jump in a pond and get your mate to feel up goose shit, you do that. Like just.
Listen, I didn't make him touch goose shit, alright? He did that by himself.
Nah, you made him do that. What offends you? Does anything offend you?
At this point, not really. Like, I've pretty much seen everything on the YouTube comments, like everything you could say about me. Like, I'm pretty immune to it at this point.
Right, say if something did offend you, like a hypothetical, yeah? Say, I don't know, someone said, like, you Dutch nuts or something. I don't know, that was horrible. But yeah.
How could you say that?
How could you say? Yeah, so if someone said something that really offended you, would you be in the mind frame if they have to stop and fuck off, or I'm going to fuck off and get away from it? What do you think you would be?
Probably I'm going to fuck off. I mean, I try to avoid conflict. I'm kind of a pussy. I don't like arguing with people, so
yeah, like
I can tend to just kind of suck it up and think, okay.
It's easier though, isn't it? Like when you don't have an ego problem and you can just be like, all right, this conversation's pointless. Like I'm not gonna argue with you over something neither of us really understand. More people. But yeah, I think I made it. Right, yeah, obviously, last one. And did you get to do those questions? Did you have time to write some for me to say?
I didn't have a question, but I did have a little story I thought of. Because I was watching your last podcast episode, and you said that you were looking to be a primary school teacher, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when the very first time I saw you, I think that was when you made the Sir Froge comment song.
Yeah.
Way before you ever got a shout out or whatever.
Like 8K or something.
And I remember you reminded me of this teacher from my primary school. Because what he used to do is, sit down with a guitar and kind of freestyle for the class.
Yeah, sick teacher.
And you reminded me of him. So when I heard on your last podcast episode that you wanted to be a primary school teacher, that kind of made me smile.
Yeah, that's really cool, because that's part of the reason why I would like.
I think you'll be good.
Yeah, I work with a couple of youth clubs and shit now, which is fun. And obviously I've got kids as well. I've got my daughter is 7 and my son's 4. So when they're trying to learn stuff like how to spell things or sort of times tables and stuff, I'll just do it into a little song for them, because a song gets stuck in your head easier than just a boring waffling thing will. So that really helps, right. And kids respond really well to sort of music and stuff, having fun and making it really. That's why I decided I'd want to. I teach my kids a bunch of stuff. I teach the other kids at the youth center. And it's fun and easy to pull them in. But yeah, it's cool that you had a teacher like that, because obviously you remember them, so they did something, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But
They were cool.
yeah, I would. It's a lot of school. It's like 4 years, and I can't start the access course until next September, which is annoying. Like, I missed the cutoff by like a week, and the course hadn't even started yet, and there were still spaces, but they couldn't put me on it. But whatever, in it, I've got another year to make my CV look better working at youth.
Right.
But
Actually, how's your album going on your EP? We talked about that a while ago on Twitter.
yeah, it's I've got 4 songs that are like pretty much done. There's 2 I'm not happy with because I've got better at producing and singing since I recorded that.
Right.
So, but I don't know if I'm just sort of sat on it to a point where like I just want it to be better than I'm capable of making, so I'm going to be sat on it forever, or I should just get to a point where I'm like, right. So I'm sat on a lot of stuff, but like the type of songs I write, they change between my mood basically. Like there's sometimes I'll enjoy writing like sort of slow acoustic songs that other times I like the more electronic stuff, like Monster was the last song that I put out. So yeah, it's like there's a lot in the pipeline, and they'll all sort of slot together at the same time. But I'm like hypercritical of my own stuff. So like it might be as good as it can be, but I feel like it could be better. So it's
Yeah. Because I mentioned a while back to you too that I sometimes write music kind of as like a hobby, you know, kind of write some rap, see how much cool wordplay I could come up with.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, when I make videos, I'm not really a perfectionist. I'll just be like, yeah, fuck it, this will do, and just throw some shit together. But when it comes to writing music, for some reason I want it to be like absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Like every lyric has to be sick.
Yeah.
So I never get anything done.
Yeah, and that like, who is it? Do you know Hank Green?
Heard of him.
He's the guy that owns VidCon and stuff. I met him at the VidCon that I went to, and I was talking about the same thing about how like I have this vision in my head of what something would look like, and if it's not close enough to that, I just either won't release it, or it'll piss me off. I'm like, why am I not good enough? Why can't I do this? Like, it's really annoying. Wind me up. And he was saying about like productivity and stuff, and about like you should only ever aim for 80% of what's in your head. Like, so like obviously you like I said, after that every 1% starts to take like just as long as the first 80 did. So like say if it takes you 6 hours to write up to 80%, then every like 5% after that is going to take you a further 6 hours. Which obviously it will drive the quality up, but then it'll get to a point where like the only people that care is like you and maybe one other person, but the majority of people consuming it really don't give a fuck you've put that extra 24 hours worth of effort in. It doesn't look that much different to how the subject matter was originally. So like I started doing that when it comes to writing. Like I'm not too hard on myself lyric wise, it's more delivery wise. Like it sounds different, and I can't sing the way I want to be able to sing. Like I can sing in freestyle in my own little way, and it's my own little style, and some people like it, and that's great, and I'm very happy that people like and enjoy that and they rate it and stuff. But like I just kind of feel like I wouldn't be a fan of me, if that makes sense. Like
yeah.
Like I don't like I definitely I'd like a few of my songs because I do, but I write things and I think I don't know who will like this, and I don't want to sort of send it to friends because then like you never know if they're just lying to you, innit? You never know if they're just telling you like, oh that's great, that is like is actually shit, and then it's part of being creative though, isn't it? Like
exactly.
Like every time I put something out and people respond well to it, my brain just tells me they're just being nice and friendly to you. Then if I put something out and it's shit, then and my brain tells me, I told you so. Well, bad. It's really, really strange how like I don't know if it's just me or people in general will sort of latch onto a positive, and I'm latch onto a negative even, and it overrules all the positives. And I'm not doing that on purpose. It's not a conscious thought. It's just how my brain actually does it. And then people telling me like, well, stop. All right, safe then. Nice one. Thank you. Like fucking, why didn't I think of that? I should have just stopped all that time ago. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know, man. It's strange. Maybe it's just being like hypercritical or something. But it's not fucking good for you. Yeah, I know that much. I found like I do care less. I like genuinely care less about like the sort of views and people's opinions and this, that, and the other. And like what I've sort of come to the conclusion as now is like if I enjoy something while I'm doing it, so if I'm having a good time, it's good content. And I would much rather 100 people be on the same wavelength as me and enjoy it as much as I do than do something I don't even like doing. Have those genuine people see I'm not liking doing it and be like, yeah, fuck this. Like, I don't want to be around for this. And then have all those other ones that are just going to hold me hostage to whatever. Like, I care way less, man. Like, it might even be that like I don't necessarily want to pursue music or YouTube as like a lifelong career. Like I want to teach, I want to inspire people. So it might be a part of that. So I've got like less investment in it now, less sort of desperation almost. But like yeah, it definitely feels. I definitely feel better. Like I'm enjoying this, really enjoying this.
Do you feel like you've mentally been like better since all YouTube thing happened,
Yeah,
or worse?
yeah, 100%. Just because there was a lot of pressure on me and a lot of bad things happening at that time. That is like it's a bit too personal to talk about, but it's just some bad shit, man. Like so obviously there was that happening, and the debt was piling up quickly, and my kids had just moved in with me, which was a whole other ball ache. Like obviously not the kids, but like what led up to them moving in with me. That was a very difficult time. And like I was dealing with all of that. So obviously when it first happened, like a lot of people were so supportive, man. I got like so much love, and that pulled me out of like my sort of dark place where I was sat, where I thought like no one liked me, and I was just hypercritical of everything, and I didn't think I had any friends. I thought everybody was just sort of just pretending to like me, I guess. I don't know, like but yeah, then obviously I got a bunch of cash as well because like the videos got views, and when I was live streaming I was making some money, which made like that I bought like a new wardrobe for my kids and stuff, like because when they first moved in I had basically nothing, so like we bought them like beds and stuff, and like that really helped. That made me feel better that I could have my house tidy, clean, and set up the way I wanted it to be, and I didn't feel like I was failing as much. Dad, obviously they had food, they were happy, man. It's just like their beds were mattresses on the floor at that point because I couldn't afford anything else. Like so that helped massively. Overall, I definitely think it's better because of the support I now have. Like, not just financially. I've met some of my best friends, genuine best friends, since January, mate. Like there's people I've watched for a long time that I've idolized, that I've met. They've given me solid advice. I've stayed at their house, like I know they definitely genuinely like me because they don't have anything to gain from inviting me to their house and being nice to me and all of this stuff. Like it's just they like me for me, and that sort of that helped sort of build my self-esteem back up a bit, to be honest. It obviously like there's ups and downs always. Sometimes there's no variable factors. There's sometimes I just feel like shit for no reason. I don't know why. I just need to wait for it to pass. Or go for a walk, or I don't know, have a wank, mate. I don't know. Just do something in it. Just not just be sat in my own head being a miserable fuck. But yeah, overall for the most part, it is 100% better. And the best thing about it is like the individuals that I've met. There's a lot of them. It's far more than a handful. But like I've met a bunch of great people that I wouldn't have met if the shout out didn't happen. Basically.
I agree. Yeah, the same for me. Like the people you meet and you get to talk to is like one of the best parts of YouTube.
100%. Like it's better than when at the videos bang and stuff. Like just the memories I've got. of
It's also like the people you don't expect to be that nice are often the nicest people,
Yeah.
and people that you expect to be really nice are like can be dicks
yeah,
sometimes.
like how many like YouTubers have you met? Have you met like a bunch? Like
I haven't met many, but I've talked to many on
yeah,
Twitter.
like what sort of like I said in the last one, it disappointed me how like fake everybody is. Um, there's quite a lot of like I'm not calling avoiding conflict fake, right? Because that's what humans have to do. Like we can't just walk
Right.
about telling each other how we feel all the time, because it would get rough pretty quick. But I'm talking about when like I've been there with some people who like I enjoy their videos. I've spoken to them for a long time and we are friends. But I've been there when one person leaves the room, everybody else there starts talking shit about them, and then they come back in, and someone else leaves, and everyone talks shit about them. And it's all sort of aimed at me, like where like they're all sort of telling me about, oh, these people have done this and blah blah. It's like you expect me to believe that. Obviously, like I said, you expect me to believe that if I leave the room, you're not doing this about me as well. Like that was quite disappointing. There's a lot of snakery and a lot of fakery between all of the people that sort of paint themselves up as like moral posts, moral pillars, or something. Like they paint themselves out to be great
Yeah.
people, and it's bad, man. Like that sort of upset me a bit. But I have like they've all been nice to me though. That's the thing. Like no one's been a dick to me directly. Everyone has been lovely to me. I just don't trust them as far as I could throw them. But there is people like obviously like Dan, and Daz, and a bunch of other people, and not even necessarily other YouTubers. Like people that have started as some of my Patreons, like my closest friends. Like obviously I met them through that, and there's some that I've had to drop off because they can't afford to help, and we keep in like they're my friends. Like they are nice people. I would consider friends, and we all want to meet up and
Yeah.
stuff. And I've met up with a couple of them. There's fans where like say like I'll get a lot of support from like the same name over like years, mate. There's been like there's been a bunch of names that I've seen in my comment section for a good couple of years now, and like they'll follow me on Twitter, and then they'll support me on there, and I'll just message them one day and say like this support. Yeah, I know I moan about hate quite a lot, and I don't say thank you for the goodness as much as I do, which is something I'm actively working on. Like so many people are nice, and I'm like thank you, but then people get more of a reaction out of me if they're a dick, which shouldn't be the case. So I've been working on that, yeah, and then like I'll message them and I'll say like I really appreciate how long you've been supporting me and how much you've been doing and this, that, and the other. And then we started talking, and they turn out to be my friends. So like the actual humans that I can contact and speak to, like that is my favorite thing, 100%. And even if they delete my channel tomorrow, mate, I've still got all of that, and it's like, obviously don't get me wrong, I won't be fucking happy about it. Like don't delete my channel, please, YouTube. Don't please. But it's it wouldn't devastate me. I've got all the things that I enjoy out of it. Like all the people that I've met, I'd like to carry it on. I'd like to meet more people. I'd like to expand the audience and all of that stuff. But for the most part, mate, I'm quite content for the first time in a long time. I enjoy it.
Would you say there's any YouTubers who you like met in person and was surprised by how nice they were?
Yeah, like Dan Bull, for one.
Right.
I've watched him for a long ass time, man. Like he got me into rap because when I first started trying to rap and stuff, my older brother always used to tell me to stop and say rap doesn't suit you, do this, do that, the other. Like I was like, but I enjoy it. I like the wordplay. He's like, nah, it's cringy. You shouldn't do it. Blah blah. And then I saw Dan Bull, and my brother always used to say to me like I'm white. It doesn't suit me and shit like that. But then I see Dan Bull, who's a nerdy white guy, and he is, in my opinion, still one of the best, if not the best YouTube rapper. Like his wordplay is insane, delivery is insane. I thought he would have a bit of an ego to him, or I don't know. Like there was nothing in particular made me think he would be a dick, but I was just expecting him, a big YouTuber, millions of subs, and what. Like I was expecting him to be a bit like sort of up himself, but he was lovely, man. Like, he invited me to stay at his. They put out a bed for me. They put out like towels and all of that shit. They were like constantly offering me food. He taught me a lot about music production that I didn't know. He let me just fanboy out for a bit and just ask him all of these questions. And he was like super patient with it and stuff. Like, because, like, mate, like, I was one step off a schoolgirl running on the spot squealing, man. I was so excited when I met Dan. But then, like, he was lovely. It just, like, like I met his family. He hooked me up with a brand deal that sent me out some microphones, which Aston microphones are amazing. If you're in the market, this is the Aston Stealth. It's amazing. You should buy one. They haven't asked me to do that, but it is generally a good fucking mic. You're listening to it right now. So yeah, like he's helped me loads. Unbelievably nice. It's not like I was expecting him to be a dick, but he is, like, he surprised me with how nice and welcoming he was. Another one is how nice KSI is. How nice JJ is.
Yeah.
Right.
That was what I was gonna say. Like, JJ is like, in person, when you're in private, he's like the nicest person ever.
Yeah.
He's so nice. And on video, I kind of act like an asshole. You think it's funny,
Yeah.
but you know, in person, he's like the opposite.
Yeah, and like, I wasn't expecting that. Like, I thought he would have like a bit of an ego, or he'd just be like he'd be a madhead sort of jumping about. But yeah, like you said, man, he is one of the nicest people ever. And just like, obviously, when you hear the sort of the behind the scenes stories of the stuff he's done, man, he's got a good heart. He's a good guy, and yeah, way friendlier than I thought he was going to be. Way friendlier. Right. My camera is about to die. Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it a lot. It's been
Sure. It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun chatting to you and getting to know you a bit. And yeah, if you don't know who Sir Froge is, sort your shit out and go watch his videos. His links will be in the description. And
what are you doing? Go subscribe. You know you want to.